If you'd like sponsors of that game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 542. Still Got Game's official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I'm Chris Selden 007 Selden.
I'm Brian Shadow Emmerich.
And all three of us are back this week.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah. had a touch of the COVIDs last time, so
the COVID
had to sit out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should really be wearing a mask right now so I don't catch it.
It was the same as last time. I did feel it was like nothing. But yeah, I'm glad that it's nothing for me, and I'm, hoping I'm keeping everybody else safe by staying away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm good now.
If you don't test, you don't have it.
Oh, Derek.
The irony of me who didn't leave my house for more than a year to say something like that. Yes. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But we are back with a fresh, dope episode. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be dope. So, you guys, step up. We'll start off, as always, with the mailbag for feedback and questions from our last episode. And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Supple One comments, I only recently discovered your podcast, but have fully embraced the rabbit hole. I've been listening to new episodes as they come out, and in between that, working my way backwards through your back catalog. You have so many episodes. 542 of them to be exact, yes.
And that's not counting other stuff.
Yes.
I think.
Like my shows.
Yes, like Selden has a good
hits, quick hits, and
tips, immature interviews. Yeah, there's plenty of shows out there that you can also work your way through. Those shows would probably be easier to finish getting through the entire library than trying to do this from scratch. But we are glad to have you here, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy yourself.
You think our old episodes still hold up?
I think the Code Monkey episodes hold up because he would always take the counterpoint to something that someone normal would think, and then he would fight that to the end. And you're like, this is the hill you chose for tonight, and he's like, it's good entertainment. So. But yeah, I haven't gone back and listened to them, but maybe I should. So maybe they don't. But
yeah, thanks for listening.
Yes, most definitely. All right, Park City Bum 91 asks, what do you think of the increasing price of microtransactions in games? I saw a story on Kotaku that if you wanted all 4 of the Ninja Turtles in Call of Duty, it would cost you $90.
I personally think they should bring back loot boxes full force and double the price of them.
Oh, jeez.
No, I hate microtransactions. I've had that game once. I want the fucking game. I want the full game. If I want DLC, I'll buy DLC. Microtransactions, I don't need that shit. Get it out.
I mean, so many things going free to play that's the way it's going. So you could play it. You just don't get those. And then if you want them, you have to pay basically the full price of the game again. So
I've got plenty of skins in Call of Duty that I've purchased with my own hard-earned money, and I don't care. It's well within my right and my means. I did not buy these 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones. That's $90 for 4 dudes. Seems pretty steep.
I think last time I was on, it was the first time I heard about Call of Duty doing all these like skins and crazy shit. I didn't know they were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems very weird. Yeah, the last thing I knew, they were doing zombies mode, which was like a big deal.
That's still there. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now you can just be a skin of anything you want.
Basically, yes, yeah.
It's turned into Fortnite. That's basically what it
They
did.
have the Squid Game skins in there. They have you name it, it's there. So yeah.
They got to start putting. Do they have dances? They have dances already, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, yeah, yes, yeah.
Oh, of course.
One of the dances you unlocked in the battle pass from the first season was the ray gun dance from the Olympics.
God.
So yes, yes, yep.
Uh,
So yes, there's plenty in there, and I'll keep enjoying spending my money on the things I care about. But yeah, I'm not going to spend $90 on 4 Ninja Turtles. So yeah, not going to do it.
All right.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is. Okay, there's pros and cons. So the pro is you're a kid, you don't have any money, you can play these games for free a lot of times. Con is if you want specific things, you're going to pay a lot more. But you could just either not want those things or just deal with it, and then you get to play it for free. So it's, I don't know. It sucks, but at least more people get to play if they want the base game.
The base game
I'm gonna-
still. I guess it's on Game Pass, but yeah, it would be $70 normally. So yeah,
like,
But-
Sorry, yeah, I meant Game Pass.
maybe this is a weird take, but if it gives me an advantage in the game, I think I'd be okay with it. But most of the cosmetics and all the microtransactions out right now are Barbie dress up type stuff, like where it's just changing your skin or something, and
so
Yeah.
it doesn't
some of-
give you an advantage to the game. You know,
Some
smaller
of them
hitbox
are.
or something.
Like if you picked the Terminator skin and you bought that, that's a smaller hitbox and it shows up differently on if you have like an infrared scope. So you see less of what you're trying to hit. Now, meanwhile, people bought for the Squid Game stuff the girl that does the red light, green light with her giant head. And it's the exact
Oh,
opposite.
no.
It's this huge hitbox that like you can't miss. So yeah,
Jeez.
it varies with the pack. So yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have a pay to win option. I mean, you pay more money, you get better guns, you get better whatever. Nah. I'm okay with it being skins because then it's just a vanity thing, and if you want it, you pay for it, and if you don't care, then don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. That's the way I look at it. And if I care, I'll buy something. And I'm not gonna sweat a few bucks here or there. So just
I
saying.
mean, $90, that's rough if that's true. $90 for what is it, like $20 a turtle plus tax? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so because they use CP, which is a different currency, so like
Oh yeah, so you don't realize
yeah,
you're
so you
spending
don't
money.
realize you're spending $90. Yeah, that
Yeah,
someone
you
had to
probably
do the math for me to tell me that it was $90 because I have no idea how much those
you
CP
you
are.
actually have to buy $100 worth of CPs because you can't buy $90 exactly. So then you have $10 left over of CP that you have to figure out how to use, but then nothing's sold
Nothing's
at that
10.
10 CP.
So you gotta buy more.
So you gotta
You
buy
can use
more.
the stuff you have already. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's how they get you. The whole thing is that's how they get you. That's like the definition of that's how
They
they get you.
lock you into the ecosystem. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Charisma Devil asks, where do you see video game streaming on Twitch, etc., going over the next couple of years? I used to be an avid viewer and had my favorites, but have grown weary of them in the recent months. Is it just me? Where do you all sit on this topic? I think you know where I fucking sit.
I think that it hit its peak during COVID because
I can't imagine that's gonna get better.
Do either of you guys watch any game streaming on the regular?
not in the
No.
regular anymore now.
No. I don't.
Occasionally
really. I
I'll
mean-
flip something on, but that's about it. I mean, it's hardly
Not
worth
really.
going to it anymore.
Not really. I mean, my son watches some stuff, but even he's, preteen, he's still not really watching a ton of he doesn't watch live stuff at all.
Mm.
But which I don't think the kids really watch live stuff. But yeah, I mean, over time, you just kind of go, well, they're just trying to they get into their niche of okay, now I have to promote this, I have to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
They have all stuff on the screen. It's just kind of the same thing every time because they have their whole setup all ready and they
It's
got
like
they
a
got their
big
promotions.
advertisement. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just kind of the way everything goes eventually. It's like, okay, now that I have this many followers, I can get some sponsors, and then I have to talk about the sponsors all the time, and then I have to throw this up on the screen, have an ad maybe there, and it's just,
And
yeah,
then you lose your
I
audience
can't.
because they don't like ads and sponsors. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
really
I mean,
only one guy that I watch that's Hitman, so
Mm.
and that's just so I can chat with him while he's playing. So
Sea of Thieves.
mostly it's been Call of Duty lately. So and
Okay,
Heroes, whatever that the Marvel one is.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't. I don't
I,
like. I don't know. I'm glad it's there, I guess, for some people, but it just takes me back to I liked watching it when it was MLG stuff back,
when they
15
were the
years ago.
best of the best. Yeah.
When it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was like, here's the best people that are playing this game. They're really good at what they do, not just good at, they don't have
Game.
personalities.
Yeah, they didn't talk. You just
It's
literally
just,
watch them play, and they're just doing call outs,
yeah,
over glass, under glass.
yeah.
And they weren't like trying to entertain. They were just playing the game and having a good time and kicking ass. So yeah,
But they also weren't making, I mean, they were making money at events, possibly,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
otherwise it was just, for fun, a lot of it. So I don't know.
Or for flexing points. You're like, yeah, I'm the fucking best
Yeah,
in the world. So yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Two-time
Yes.
world champ. What?
Yeah. So Charisma Devil. None of us care about streaming either. So. And last but certainly not least, Altius asks, now that we're steamrolling into video game announcement season, what surprises do you expect over the next few months? Have we reached a point where the combination of all of these shows finally rivals E3?
Probably not.
I mean, I've never been to E3, but it just, yeah, I don't think so. And I think that, I mean, it really depends, like on the show and what they're showing. It's all about whatever games they're showing. So you could have a spectacle, but if it's all just like mediocre games they're showing, you won't remember it.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
was like
like,
the
remember that?
Xbox, the Xbox game showcased like 3 years, maybe it was like 2021, sometime during the pandemic ish. And it was that one that was like console exclusive, and everything had like a pre boilerplate to it, and nothing was fantastic. And then we didn't even see any of those games for like 2 more years. I think that's probably
Yeah.
where we first saw Starfield, and
Yeah,
uh,
we still haven't seen Fable, and that was announced at that point too.
That was supposed to be out this year, I thought,
I thought so
but
too. Yeah. So
I guess we'll see.
yeah, so like Shadow said, I guess it depends on the event and what they show and whether it's worthwhile. I don't think you're ever going to get to the E3 levels of things where it was the entire video game industry shut down, went to LA, and there was like, no matter who you got your content from, it was a non-stop fire hose of content. Whether you were a Kotaku person, whether you were a joystick person, whether you were a tool to play person, that content came to you in rapid fire fashion. And like in the later years, they started streaming these press events. We used to have to do those press events, live blog them in a room where there's 20,000 people all stealing the internets, and you couldn't get photos out, you couldn't get text out. Um, yeah, I don't think we'll ever see anything that rivals E3. I think it's the single greatest show that has ever been. Just saying.
No, that was Barnum and Bailey's
Greatest show
no.
on
Show on
earth.
Earth.
But to answer his first part of the question, the only thing I'm really surprises wise coming up, I think we're going to see some stuff coming from Nintendo, but it's probably going to be the same shovelware Nintendo products that we've already seen, like your Mario
Probably.
Karts, your
You call
Metroids.
Mario?
or-
Hey, hang on. Shovelware, Mario Kart, and Metroid. Come on, man.
Well, come on.
It's
Has
the
Mario
same-
Kart really changed much except maybe an upgrade?
It's not
to some of the
shovelware.
tracks?
It's not shovelware.
I do
They're same
appreciate
old
that comment.
They're same
Yes.
old IPs that they keep pushing out. How's that?
Yeah, because that's what they
With
do.
updated
They've always
graphics.
done that.
Yeah. I bet you we're gonna get a Mario game. I bet you we're gonna get a Paper Mario game. I bet you we're gonna get a Mario Kart. I bet you we're gonna get a Luigi's Mansion. I bet you that we're gonna get
A
Mario
Zelda?
Party. Like, we know what's coming. Like, there's no surprise. It's just roster update 2025. Thanks, Nintendo. Yeah.
Nintendo are what they are. You know, if you either like their games or you don't, and I don't know. I mean, the new a lot of them I get excited for. A lot of them are just like, all right, well, Mario Party, I don't care about that, but I'll play the new Mario Kart. I'll play a new Mario Galaxy or Odyssey or whatever it's going to be. Metroid for sure. You know, looking forward to that. That's been 2007, I think, since the last 3D Metroid, I believe. So it's been a long ass time for that.
So Brian's been
That's
waiting for this shovelware for a while.
Don't get
I
me
don't
wrong.
think you know the definition of shovelware.
Nintendo puts out great stuff. They're fun to play, but it's the same IP over and over. How's that?
Okay, but Xbox has the same IP over and over. PlayStation has the same IP over and over for a lot of the time. So, I mean, look at a decade of PlayStation, it's the same stuff. You get
Well,
like this, and you get a sequel to that game.
but then you get
Spider-Man,
Astro's
Spider-Man 2.
Playroom, and then something brand
do.
new. So
Yeah.
just saying, just saying.
You get Horizon Zero Dawn, you get Horizon Forbidden West, you get, you know, it's just, yeah, you'll
Yeah.
get the same stuff from the same company because that's what they make. I mean, they try new IPs. We've seen them try new IPs and fail, and then they go back to what they did previously. You get the God of Wars, you get the every company has its own games that they put out, except for the other companies. Then Nintendo actually put out third-party stuff that's good too because it actually works on their systems. Nintendo not quite as much. Nintendo has
Yeah.
just their stuff mostly. Hopefully the Switch 2
Yeah.
will fix some of that, but they'll always be behind because they're always the cheaper system, but they don't care. So,
No, no, yeah. So same
um,
old shovelware. Yep. I think
E-
that's what we were agreeing on. So-
I've never been to E3. I never went to it. Unfortunately, I was wanted to, but it was always like, okay, we're all excited for this one thing a year, and you see rumors about it. You see
Yeah.
previews of certain games that might be at E3. Then E3 comes, and you get all. And in the past, of course, before they had live stream stuff, it was always like, wait for the next Game Pro or whatever that came out and showed everything that pictures of all the
Yep.
stuff,
Yep.
and here's previews of all of it. That was a whole different world than, okay,
Yep.
here's all these different events, and here's all the different companies having their own events. And there's never going to be anything where it's just only all at the one,
No.
and that's it, and that's the big thing.
No.
That's not going to happen anymore. So,
No.
I don't know.
It's a sad state we live in. So. Yep. All right.
Yep.
Well, if any of you have questions or comments, give us a call 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over to what we're playing? Selden, what have you been playing this week?
I have been playing a crap ton of Avowed, and a little bit of Balatro. Avowed dropped last week.
Mhm.
Phenomenal game. Really good job so far from what I played. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's a great hack and slash adventure type game, open world. So having a blast in that game. How about you there, Brian?
Yeah, so I went back and finished Indiana Jones completely. Finished the story, finished all the achievements, so that's set until the DLC comes out. There was a bad bug that apparently most people get that once you finish the game and you go back and try to do a bunch of the stuff in a certain area, your partner in that area will just like have these lines that she's like screaming that are from earlier scenes in the game, and she'll just do that in the background. If she's anywhere near you, you just hear it over and over again. And there's no patch. I mean, there's a patch for it now, but they're like, okay, we patched it, but it's only for future playthroughs. It doesn't
Yeah.
fix it in your
Oh,
current playthrough.
nice.
Oh no.
Like, really? So I had to go through and I had to turn down voice in the game, like the character voices, so that I didn't hear it. So I couldn't hear anybody else talking, but I also didn't hear her. And so I just had the captions on. And every once in a while, I just hear her go like, "Oh my God," blah blah, but on the screen just to catch them.
Indy, get away.
Yeah, it was. But otherwise, the game
Nice.
was good. It was just the stupid post game stuff. So I finished that. I played some Balatro a little bit. Balatro, I'm still loving, but a lot of it, it's sort of like, well, I've beat a couple of the decks. I think two or three of the decks. Some of them I haven't been able to beat yet, but what?
No, I didn't call you a
Oh,
pussy. No, no.
beat a couple of the decks. But then I kind of go back and I'm like, all right, well, it's sort of the same stuff over and over again. And a lot of the achievements I can't get because I have to like do a lot of crazy shit that I'm not able to do yet. So I kind of put that down for a little bit. Still good. Played some Sea of Thieves just to kind
Wow,
of
with
jump in
hit.
and screw around. No, unfortunately, but it's a good game to jump in. I swear, if you guys go into Sea of Thieves and turn it on and like just boot it up and go into a game, you'll probably pop like three achievements just by starting it because it's just like crap that just accumulates and then over time it just auto pops if you if you get into the game. So that was when I was
Nice.
just kind of playing, doing some random shit and just getting some achievements there. Played some Avowed, like Selden. I played only up into the point Selden where you take the boat and you get over to the dock at the very beginning. You go through the first
Okay.
area, take the boat, get to the dock. I got to like the campfire and then I stopped there, but it seemed really fun so far. Really like it almost feels like Oblivion a little bit, but a little more fun, like better controls, obviously better people than Oblivion, but it was very like chill game. Like it's not too hard and it's not too complex. It's just it's first person hack and slash with lots of equipment that you can get.
Nice.
Enjoying that. Played finished up Contrast, which I was playing earlier, and that's just a game from like 10 years ago, but I ended up playing it because I never did. I finished that, and I also jumped back into Watch Dogs, which I just kind of I was looking through my game list and I said, you know what? This is a game where I really loved when it first came out, had some problems. I remember all the criticism that it wasn't as good as the demo and everything, but that was fine. But I remember getting stuck at a point a little bit, I thought, midway through and I never beat it. So I'm like, oh, let's just see. And so I threw it back on, got through that spot, and now I'm just playing through the rest of the game. And most of the stuff I'd
Nice.
already finished. There was just a few things left to do, honestly. So I'll probably finish that pretty soon. But it's been good to kind of go back and revisit that. And it's Chicago, which is cool because that's where I live. And it
No,
still looks good. And it's 11 years old, which I could not believe that it was that old. But
no, it's
it
crazy. Yeah.
still looks good. Maybe down the road I know I bought Watch Dogs 2 at some point when it was on sale for like $2. So I have that. I may play that at some point. Then there's Watch Dogs something else. Legion, I think. Maybe I'll play that. I don't know. Because I always heard that 2 and Legion were better than 1, but
Two takes place in DC, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I have no idea. No.
So but yeah. How about you, Derek?
Well, I've done pretty much the same thing I do every week. I played a little Balatro when I
Try to
had some
take over the
time.
world.
And,
Yes. Pinky in.
and I've been playing a shitload of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Now I am finally in the glorious Prestige 10. And I am at level 73 of the 1,000.
Jeez.
So, yes.
And you still only play the one map.
And I still only play Nuketown, yes. Although this week I think we may introduce there's another new map that they just launched, which is a bullet train. And it's very small, one lane down the middle, or you go up on the roof, and it's a tight map, probably tighter than Nuketown. So we may try that on Thursday this week. So yeah. But
Cool.
yeah, other than my two usuals, nothing else. I don't need anything else. Don't need to branch out. Don't need to open my world. No, I'm staying in my lane. That's what. Yeah, yeah.
Are you a person? Are you somebody who would try Avowed, do you think, or no? It's
No,
not your
I
thing.
certainly would not try that. No.
All right.
Sounds like a
You never
piece of
played like
shit to me.
Skyrim or
No, I never played Oblivion. I never played Skyrim. Never did any of those. Those are not my style game. If I'm going to do a game like that, I'm going to do World of Warcraft and put maybe 2 million hours into it, and then
only.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, not
You still
those
paying for
games.
your character in World of Warcraft?
No, I did revive it. I think 2 years ago. I bought back in for 3 months to play around and just make sure I still knew how to do stuff, and then I canceled that subscription again because I could see that I was gonna go balls deep.
Were you gonna? Did you play with Jay?
No, that time I did not. That I was just banging through the story that I had missed. So yeah, but we used to do all the raids back in the day, the 40-man raids, the 20-man raids, and it was like a
Yes.
job. We would all get on at, you know, 8 at night, and I would play till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and we'd just keep running the same raid over and over and over, trying to finish it. And
You ever Leroy Jenkins it?
uh, I've done my share of Leroy Jenkins, so yes, yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, I'll stick with Call of Duty, and I can keep buying my cosmetics and throwing them my shekels. So yeah,
Throw money down the drain. Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, I piss more money away during a normal day that I don't even know where it goes. At least I can see this on my screen. So yeah. Yeah, I go to the ATM, I take out like $500. All of a sudden, I'm like, where's all my cash? And I gotta go take out another $500, and yeah.
And all there is a little white dust left over on the mirrors. That's all.
I know where it goes.
All right.
Uh,
On that, why don't we hop over new releases? The first new release came out actually last week, but we didn't cover this because we didn't have a show. It's Avowed, out for the Xbox and the PC. These two just fucking blew it 8 ways to Sunday, and they're still wiping it off their faces. So apparently they're both big fans of this. The other new game out this week is Monster Hunter Wilds, out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC. These are not my style of games, but I know they're super popular among mostly PlayStation people.
I was gonna say it's just only over the last couple releases that Monster Hunter has actually hit the Xbox, and this one hitting the Xbox at the same point time PlayStation's hitting is a big move for them. So good for PlayStation opening up the gates a little bit and saying good luck.
Yeah, it's not my style of game though.
No, I've tried a few of them, and it's definitely not my style either. I'm not the one verse giant type of activity guy. So
Shadow, you don't look like you have any interest.
no, I'm not. I'm just not into that stuff.
Yeah, you're making faces like
No,
no,
not for me. No, I mean, there's certain genres where you just kind of go, if I'm gonna get into that, you have to get way into it. Otherwise,
Yes.
yeah, can't surface level that stuff. No,
No. All right.
not for me.
Well, then on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? First story. U.S. game spending fell 15% to $4.5 billion in January of 2025. So, does this surprise anyone, seeing the quality of the new release lists that we've looked at lately? Or
Well, I mean, does that include Game Pass subscriptions? Because if it doesn't, I mean,
I
maybe people
guess,
got
yeah.
Game Pass for Christmas and they're just been playing those games instead of buying things.
Well, that's a good point, and I do not know that.
yeah, I definitely think it reflects the current environment that gaming's in right now. Post COVID, we're falling off, all the layoffs going on. There's been a decline going on for a while with the amount of money being spent. I think even mobile gaming's taking a suffering hit too. So it's it's sad, but that's where we're headed right now. So
Yeah, no, and like you said with mobile gaming, like I feel like all of a sudden everybody got really greedy. Like it's one thing in Call of Duty to sell your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skins, but it's another thing when you're playing Monopoly Go and the first ad that comes up for an in-game purchase is $99. Like that's a little ludicrous.
Isn't Pokemon Go getting sold?
And we
Thought I
talked about
heard
that last week. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wow.
And I really don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. And I just think that they're eventually going to pull the trigger on releasing new consoles, hoping that will revive the thing. And it could be the worst move that they make at that point. So we'll have to see what
I'm not
happens.
sure it will. No. But all right. Next story.
All right, going into something positive. How about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater site is counting down to an announcement? Oh, what do you think it is? He gets another Tony Hawk game?
That's usually what a countdown would be for. So
No,
yes.
I don't. No, that's not it. That can't be it.
I love the Tony Hawk games, and I'll play them. I don't know if I'll buy another one coming up unless it hits like Game Pass. I might play it then, but
Wow.
I have a few versions of it, so I'm not sure if I'm up for it, but I do love them. So who knows?
Yeah, I bought
I've
the last
never-
one.
I've never played.
Is
Never
that
played Tony
really
Hawk.
what you're saying? You've never
I've
played
never played Tony Hawk. No, I don't care about
Tony
skateboarding.
Hawk.
I've never. No,
There's a bunch of easy achievements in them, though.
I don't care about skateboarding, and so
You
just
were a
no.
GameCube guy. Like it was like one of the premier
I
games
was
on the
not a
GameCube.
GameCube guy. No, I wasn't a GameCube guy because I had girlfriends at the time, so I wasn't gaming. I sold my N64, I think, or I stored it, and then I didn't buy a GameCube until I moved away from home,
Ah.
and I caught up on the stuff that I missed.
So you
but
weren't
yeah.
always a Nintendo zealot.
I mean, I was up until Xbox
GameCube?
360. 360.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I bought that was not. No, you know what? I did buy a PS2 Slim, one of the silver ones that when those came out. I think to play some Final Fantasy stuff that I missed because they stopped putting stuff out on Nintendo and I was pissed about that, I remember. So I'm back and I bought Final Fantasy 7, 8, maybe 9 and played some of those, but yeah. No, I've never played a Tony Hawk game. It just yeah, not my thing. So same thing with the other stuff we're talking about. Monster Hunter, not my thing. Tony Hawk, not my
Did you
thing.
play SSX Tricky?
No, I played 1080. I have 1080 snowboarding on N64.
That
I
was
think,
more
but
of
that
a
was
sim. Yeah, no. SSX Tricky was the greatest snowboarding game of all time. So highly recommend it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
supposedly we might be getting this new Tony Hawk game as early as this summer, which is kind of cool. Could be a good
Look at
summer
Selton putting us
blockbuster.
back on task. He's like, and guys, remember we were talking about Tony Hawk.
as I was saying. Let me steer back.
Not talking about snowboarding, Bob. I want to talk about how Bobby Kotick says that Tony Hawk was living in his car when he signed the first deal with Pro Skater Games.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's a
Well, yeah.
badass.
Guy is a legend. It doesn't even matter what you're talking about. Tony Hawk will always be a legend at this point going forwards.
Wow. And like watching his social media stuff from airplanes is the greatest. Like someone in front of him is watching like skateboarding and it's Tony Hawk and he's right behind them and he's taking like a picture of the screen and them watching. And yeah, he's a funny guy. So, all right. Next story.
Sky Oblivion, the fan remake of Oblivion and Skyrim's engine, will launch in 2025. The ambitious fan project, made entirely through a volunteer effort, is still on track for 2025 release date. So this is all volunteer donations, etc. So I guess that's why they can do it because they're not actually selling it. But it's supposed to come out this year, and looks like yeah, still on track. They've got a trailer up. Check it out. If you do Google search, you'll find it. So if you care about Oblivion, which I didn't play Oblivion until pretty far into my Xbox life, my Xbox 360 life, I think, because my buddy had it and he bought a 360 when 360 launched, and that's why he bought it, was Oblivion.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wasn't really into. I watched him play it. I thought that's cool, but I was playing Halo at the time, Halo 3 at the time. So that's like all I played for 3 years. Was
Yeah,
Halo
all
3.
you need
So I
was
think I
one
went back.
game. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I played Halo 3, Halo 3, the Orange Box, and that was pretty much it for like 3 years. Maybe Left 4 Dead. But so I went back to it and played that. And so it had a lot of jankiness, and you could definitely tell that it was early 360 stuff. So this could be good. I mean, the land the land was cool. The stories were cool. It was just kind of janky. So if they can make it look nice and still have the stories and setups, I think it could be good. I know that people were talking about possibly an official Oblivion remake coming out this year, but that never
That's been
materialized, at
talked
least
for like
yet.
the last couple
So
of years. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, didn't materialize yet, so we'll see, maybe. But until then, and I believe this is just PC and maybe
I
Mac,
would
but
I would
probably
assume so.
PC.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out if you want. It's supposed to be sometime this year, so could be good. And if you're a fan, definitely Google that. Check it out.
Nice. All right.
Next.
Next story. Among Us VR is being transitioned into a traditional 3D game for PC. So, first off, before you get excited, this does not count normal Among Us. This is strictly the VR
First person
version
view.
of this game is becoming a first person Among Us game in a 3D style view. But the 3D people will only be able to play with the VR people and vice versa. So if you're playing on your console, you're playing on your phone, you're playing on Steam, you're not part of this. But it is kind of cool to think about Among Us. Well, first off, I didn't even know Among Us VR was a thing. Otherwise, I would have bought it. But in a first person versus kind of like the shuffling your guy across the screen and doing all the Among Us shenanigans and being sus and killing people. So I think this is pretty cool. I don't know. I may pick it up. I don't know. It's kind of a limited audience, so you need to know other people with the first person version or the VR version, but I think it sounds pretty cool. So
Yeah, it's definitely a play with your friends type of game rather than just play with a bunch of randos. Because
mm-hmm.
any of the Among Us games or those type of games when you're playing with randos, it doesn't work out. It's just a pain in the ass to deal with, and then people quit out and shit when they don't get what they if they don't get to be the murderer, they quit out and stuff like that. So
Yep.
this is definitely more of the party type of game. So
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually played it. My son plays it a lot, or used to. He might like this, but we don't have VR, so it'd be the 3D version, which, great. But yeah, I mean, it's something something to check out. I'm sure it won't be too much money. What's the original one's like
Yeah,
$5, but
$5.
this
Yeah.
this will be more than this probably, I'm sure, but not too much more. Yeah, give it a shot.
I'm just happy to see a game that's like 7 years old continually iterating, and it's not like an expensive game where people have put in like $70 and then bought all these add-ons and add-ons and add-ons. So yeah, all the power to them. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think of No Man's Sky, which is like 10 years old or something, and you just keep giving you stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
no, stop. I will pay money. Stop giving me stuff. I'm like, no, you're gonna take this and you're gonna like it. You're gonna get this DLC and it's free, and don't even try to pay me for it.
Nice. Nice. All right, next story.
all right, we got a couple competing stories this week that I want to talk about. The one that's on the board right now is game devs take a stand against generative AI. Looks like game developers, especially in the indie space, are looking to go against the AI generated games. They're developing a seal that you can buy to put on your indie developed games that designated as a no AI generated game, so that you know that it was only developers that were working on it. And on the flip side, Microsoft announced that they are going to have a whole division dedicated to AI generative games coming out. So
Nice.
it's like they're going two ways. I'm like I'll definitely look for those seals of no gen AI on some of the indie games, knowing that those guys poured their heart and soul and didn't take any shortcuts by asking, AI to create the monsters or create the maps or shit like that. So yeah, I think it'll be good. But then Microsoft has also said, hey, we're going to embrace it and we're going to use this shit and we're going to love it. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it could be a good thing for the current climate for them to do with the sticker thing, so that people would say, "Oh, I'm going to buy this because
It's not
I
AI. Yeah.
it's not AI. I want to support creators. I want to support writers, and I think right now there's kind of a big pushback on the AI. So I think that could be good for the games to do that. I mean, it's almost like putting like a GMO label on it or
Or
something.
explicit lyrics sticker on a CD in the 80s. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, make people buy explicit lyrics. But
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, could be smart for them to do for now. We'll see. The the Microsoft thing, I don't know about that. Like, I don't understand why they need to do that, but
No.
sounds like they're going all in on that. So
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Either direction is like there's got to be some middle ground where it can be like a certain amount of AI and a certain amount of coding and have AI do the dumb parts that no one wants to do. I
Like draw all the trees on the map.
yeah, exactly. Like I
yeah,
don't understand this dichotomy and the fact that the two are like bifurcating so crazily from each other. One's like, yeah, there's no AI in this shit, and we're stamping it. And then Microsoft's like, AI will write all of our games for the next 10 years. And you're like, could we have not found somewhere in the middle? Like, yeah,
I,
I
f-
don't,
I feel like with games, it's just AI is basically just like auto generative. Like, think about Minecraft. You start Minecraft up, and it just makes a world for you.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically AI.
That's
It's just a
technically
it's
AI, yeah, yeah.
it's an algorithm. It's figuring out just where to stick stuff, and it technically creates it all. But nobody called that AI until recently. I think some of it's sort of a
Yeah,
buzzword thing. I mean, there
yeah.
is AI. There's ChatGPT and stuff, but game wise, I don't know if it's technically all
No, they were called
AI.
like generative maps and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But then as soon as generative became a term in AI, then people are like, generative AI? Generative
Or you,
maps.
or you have
Yes.
like a roguelike where,
Oh
every
yeah, it
time you
wrote
you
that
start,
redoes itself every time and yeah,
it
yeah.
just redoes it, it creates its own maps. I mean, that's AI, right? I mean,
Yeah, even if you look at
Technically.
like the Halo documentaries of making the Halo games, they talk about how they program the NPCs, the flood and everything.
Yeah.
They program to learn by playing, and it would adapt if you were playing two players or four players. It would split the troops up, and it never worked out perfectly, but
Yeah.
it always they had that built in where it was generative AI as you were playing
well,
through.
I mean, that's more like an if then, like if there are two people, do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's less AI and more like coded, but I understand what you're saying. Like that, there are things like that for sure.
Yeah.
But that's where I'd like to see the generative AI hit is more adapting the NPCs to react in battle situations like that to make it harder or easier depending on how well you play and stuff like that. So
There was some game that was coming out, or they were maybe I don't know if it came out or they were talking about it, to where the bosses were going to be AI. They're going to learn, and so then, but the problem was that people said, well, eventually, if they keep learning, you'll never be able to beat
You'll
them because
never yes, yeah, yeah.
they'll learn and learn and learn, and every time you come up to them again, they'll know how to defeat you, and then you'll just never be able to beat them. I don't think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, no, no.
Yep. So.
All right. Next story.
Lego Game Boy reportedly will cost $60 and releases this October. The new set looks to be based on the original version of the classic gaming handheld, the DMG-01. Yeah, so I know that Nintendo's been doing some sets in Lego I know there's the NES, and I think there might be something else. And then, of course, there's Mario stuff. But based upon actual systems, I think right now it's just the NES, the original US version of that. And so this will just be like a small Lego Game Boy set. Only $60, so not crazy. I mean, based upon all the other Lego sets prices, that's actually not bad at all for, especially because it's
Yeah.
licensed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you can go online, you can Google that, and it'll show you a picture of it. But yeah, looks like it might be cool. And it looks, let's see, you can pick up several other Lego sets, including the new Legend of Zelda Deku Tree 2 in 1 set. So they're doing Legend of Zelda stuff. I think I saw that at the Lego store. And
Yeah.
of course, they're doing Mario and Yoshi and all that stuff's around. So what do you guys think?
No,
But
I
it's
think it's
it's
pretty
not a
cool.
functional Game Boy, right? You can't.
No,
Mm.
but
But
they'll have like a
I probably have enough
screen on it.
Legos to make one already, and my kids' ones that are sitting in the
Like,
closet somewhere.
do I have a lot of gray? Do I have a lot of gray Legos? I could probably
Every
build
Star
one.
Wars set you have has a lot of gray.
A
Yes.
lot of
I'm
gray.
like,
Yeah, they'll have a screen on, like a thing that looks like a screen, I'm sure, with some game on it. I think that's what they did with the NES one. They might have had like Duck Hunt or something on that. So,
See, I
but
think
yeah, it could
they're
be.
missing the point here. I think that you make one that's playable. Like you could charge 4x for that, and
Well,
it's
yeah.
you slide the board in behind it as you build the Legos around it, and you
yeah,
get playable.
people would buy this. I would buy
You know what
this.
though? Somebody's gonna do that. They're just gonna stick the screen and the guts in and just build
And
it around
put
it.
Legos around it. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
they'll do it.
But,
They'll do it. You'll see it
but
online somewhere.
but yeah, I would have bought this if it was playable. So just
That's not gonna be comfortable, man. Just get an analog or something,
no,
or an original.
maybe that grip is actually better and it's not going to slip out of your hands when you're sweating.
No, wait, it slipped out of your hands? The big old chonky
Oh yeah, that
DMZ-01,
thing
like
would
the
shoot out
original?
across the room.
No, no.
Oh, all right. I don't really give a shit about any of these other
Nope.
stories. So
Passing on the last two. So
would you like one, Selden?
no, God no, they're both awful.
Dune
Brian,
Awakening.
would you like one?
Dune Awakening will spice things up on May 20th. Says Dune already had a game, right? No. Oh, it's an open world MMO. Arrives on May 20th for PC. But that already came out, didn't it? Or am I
Apparently
forgetting?
not.
This is what the problem is when you take a story.
It says it launches on Steam. Okay, no, it's not. It's not out yet. It's also coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. No release date for the console versions yet. So May 20th, Dune Awakening on Steam. That's an MMO. I
Brian
don't
wants-
understand why people want an MMO for Dune. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna write
Political
a
intrigue.
you gonna
You're
write a
gonna-
worm?
You're gonna go get some spice.
Get some spice, be a dick, and rule the planet.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
not my
No.
style either. No,
No, thank you.
Pass.
I like the Doom movies, but Atreus sucks.
I
His
didn't even
character.
like the Dune movies, so yeah, fuck them. All right.
That's-
Well,
yeah.
if any of you have stories you want us to talk about next week, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Emails at podcast@play.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. If we had them, we'd pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. So if you want to support the show, you want to have some of the sponsors, 773-527-2961. Or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. Facebook the fuck out of us. We have a Facebook channel, facebook.com/tool-to-play. That is another place where you can go get all of your Tool to Play content and enjoy the shit out of it. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. Picking up what I'm putting down here. Lots of Tool to Plays thrown in. So youtube.com/tool-to-play. That is our ultimate on-demand library. You can go there. You can watch every episode of Still Got Game, even back when it was Tools Type Radio, when it was Gaming Under the Influence. You can go watch Quick Hits with LB and Duty. You can go watch Selden Show. You can go watch Tiff's Immature Interviews. You can watch all of our content, and it's on demand. So if all of a sudden you're like, I have 200 hours to spend on watching content in a row, boom, we got you covered, bro. Yeah, like fuck Netflix. Like eventually you're gonna get to something you don't like, Miss Maisel, whatever. But all of our content is peak. Nothing is mid. Well, maybe there's one show that was mid, but I'm not gonna say what show that was.
No, it was low. It wasn't in the mid. It wasn't mid. It was low.
All right. So Brian's not the nicest guy, but anyway. But we also
I didn't mean rating wise.
I
meant camera wise.
Quality wise, it was top.
That's right.
Yeah, it was low. Yes, I give you that. That was creative and well done. We also have a Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/still_got_game. That's one of the many places we broadcast live each every week. Also go to iTunes, give us a 5-star review, write something nice if you get an extra few seconds. Same thing with all the bitch music stores, whether it's Android, whether it's Spotify, whether it's whatever. Just go there and write something nice. Definitely go to our Discord channel. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. You can chat with every host of this show, some more than others, mostly Selden. But discord.me/stillgotgame and join in the conversation. Selden, you got anything you want to pimp this week?
No, you can just find all my socials at Linktree. Search me up at Selden007 at Linktree. You'll find my profile and all my links there.
Selden.linktree.selden
at Selden.com. Yep.
Same thing here. Selden. I mean, it's Linktree / what is it? Brian S. Emerick. BrianSemerick. Got my stuff there. Got my Blue Sky in there. Got some other places to go. The Discord and some charities that I support. Yeah, check them out. Give them money. Give them attention if you can. If you have the means. People need help these days for sure. So thanks. And how about you, Derek?
Oh, well, thank you for asking, Brian. I am at Linktree/Derek Nolan. That's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. That's where you can find all of my shit. But I am still pimping for the LA Fire Department after all those brutal wildfires in LA. So lafd.org. Go there and donate. Throw your extra money their way. Not everyone in LA is an actor. Not everyone's a movie star. Not everyone's a writer, director, friend of yours. Some people are just normal people that got fucked by this thing. So lafd.org, and you will find plenty of places to direct your extra funds. And I guess on that, I will remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, some Mondays, most Mondays, more than not, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/tool2play, facebook.com/tool2play, twitch.tv/still_got_game, and kick.com/stillgotgame. And on that, why don't we wrap this? Everybody's back for now. Episode up. I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I am Brian Shadow Emerick.
Selden.com at Selden.com.